The Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Never miss a bet with Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred Sports brings over 50 years of experience through the United States betting industry. Straight bets, in-play wagering, parlay cards, teasers, and more. Head on over to BetfredSports.com or download the Betfred Sportsbook app in Colorado, Iowa, or Arizona and get in on all the action today. New signups will receive up to $250 in free bets when wagering $50. Download the Betfred Sportsbook app today. Offer valid in Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona only. Visit BetfredSports.com for terms and conditions. Please gamble responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, and 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado.
And welcome to NFL Week 10. This is the Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment powered by Betfred Sports. I'm Doug Weishuttle here with Dave Weishuttle, and we're here to give you our best bets for the upcoming football schedule of this week, 10th week of the NFL regular season. Looks like we both had pretty good weeks last week.
Yeah, I'm back to my 2-1, I guess.
Consistency.
Every week I was 2-1, except the other week when I was 1-2. So I haven't counted up my my overall record, but I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. But you had a great week last week.
Yes.
You actually went 3-0.
Yes, I went 3-0. I'm actually having a winning record now. I started off pretty bad this year. I went first 2 weeks 0-3. I'm now 14-13, and just
so what am I?
You are 17-10.
I'm 17-10. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
so,
great. By the way, I could have gone 3-0 last week too, but I lost the Vikings game by a half a point. So
well, that's why they call it betting.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, but again, great games last week, and
congratulations to the Jets. Wow, unbelievable.
And I actually won money getting putting a bet down on the Jets, the money line.
Yeah.
I got plus 440 on the Jets money line just as we were leaving New Jersey.
Yeah, you were in the Montvale James Gandolfini rest area, and that was the last rest area in New Jersey, and you decided to do a money line bet on the Jets, which was what? What was it? Plus 440?
Plus 440.
And you did very well.
I didn't like the odds for the spread. The spread at the book I was using was 12.5 still.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I thought it went down to about 10 or something.
No.
No?
At the time I did, it was still 12.5.
Okay.
So, but I didn't like those odds. But I looked at the money line, and I said, why not? I mean, weird things have happened with the Jets before with the Buffalo Bills. So I figured, let me just do it. And I placed my bet at the Gandolfini Sportsbook at the Montvale Casino. How about that?
Yeah, the Montvale Casino.
And it ended up working out the right way.
That's, I guess, what everyone calls the last rest area in New Jersey. That's the last chance to make your bets. Unless you have a New York account, which we don't.
And boy, did I take advantage of that.
Yep.
So good job there. So this is NFL Week 10. We're starting to see the playoff picture become more and more clear. We're seeing certain teams starting to drop away. We're seeing certain teams actually making the right moves to get into the playoffs. I mean, both New York teams look like they're playoff bound.
Yep.
If anything weird doesn't happen.
Not sure what Indianapolis is doing, but
no.
What are you going to do? Hey, it might work out. Who knows?
I got to find out. I got to find out which book had Frank Reich as the first coach fired this year. If someone had that in their prop bets for coaches firing in Indianapolis, but here we are, Week 10. Every week we do this. We pick 3 games each. We do the point spreads and we do the totals. We do not do money line bets here for each week's games. And we use Tuesday morning lines with Betfred Sports. So please, when we do these picks, when you watch these, whether it's tomorrow, today, whenever you do it, Sunday, the morning of the games, always check the current spreads at the books you are using. I would highly recommend Betfred Sports if you're able to do that, because it's one of the best books out there.
Yeah, I think they have the best lines, best spreads, best odds. I think they're great. They're user-friendly. You can some of these sports books, they look like a computer screen from NASA, but not Betfred. You can see all the bets. You can easily understand it. You can easily navigate. I love it. It's great.
Well, let's get right to it and do our games of the week. My first game of the week is the Detroit Lions visiting Chicago Bears. We've got Chicago favored by 2.5. The over-under is 48.5 right now. I actually like what's happening in Chicago right now. Last year I wasn't sold on Justin Fields. This year, I don't know whether it's the coach has redesigned the offense or Justin Fields has just figured it out. But he's been running well. He's been throwing the ball efficiently. He's been throwing the ball well, as a matter of fact. And over the last 3 games, they've actually played teams that are in the playoff mix. They've got the Patriots, Cowboys, and Dolphins in their last 3 games. I don't know about the Patriots making the playoffs, but they are a playoff caliber team, and they're 2-1 against the spread in those games. And you got to look at the other side here, Detroit. Detroit, even though they did have a great game against the Packers, which
who doesn't have a great game against
this
the
year?
Packers?
You have to say everyone's having a great game against the Packers.
Who doesn't have a great game against the Packers?
The Lions are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. So it's one of those situations where I remember last year, if you wanted to beat the spread, you bet the Lions. This year, that's Atlanta, but last year was always the Lions. Chicago's scoring in bunches lately. They're I believe they've been putting up points like crazy at times against the Patriots. I know they did against the Dolphins. The Lions are 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 games in Chicago. They haven't scored more than 15 points more than once in their last 4. I really don't see Detroit keeping pace with the way Chicago's playing. I'm going Chicago 2.5, laying the points.
Well, I agree with you because it looks like Chicago Bears have finally figured out an offense, and Justin Fields looks very comfortable in it. And I really like the Bears over Detroit Lions this week. I got the same stats that you have. I just did it in shorter games. The Bears are 3-1-1 against the spread in their last 5 home games, while the Lions are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. And I think Fields will be very effective running the ball against the Detroit defense. And with the spread only being 2.5, a field goal wins it for us. So, like you, I'm taking the Chicago Bears and laying the points.
All right, let's head on over to the second game of the week. Game number 2, Cleveland Browns visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are favored by 4 points. The over-under is 49 points. Miami's coming into this game riding a 3-game winning streak, and the over is 2-1 in those 3 games. Both of these teams, the Browns and the Dolphins, have the ability to put up a lot of points. Browns had 55 points over the last 2. Miami scored a total of 66 over their last 2. The one problem I've noticed is Miami also can't stop other teams from putting up points. They gave up 32 and 27 in their last 2 games, respectively. The last 2 games these 2 teams have played, the Browns and the Dolphins, 65 and 54 were the totals. And while the under is 4-0 in the Dolphins' last 4 games at home, I really think you got to look at what the last 2 overall games Miami played were. They played against the Bears. They played against Detroit. A lot of points scored for and against. And I think those 2 teams, the Bears and Detroit, are very similar to what the Browns are. And you never know what you're going to get in terms of defense and offense from the Browns. But right here, I got to go with the over 49 in this game.
Well, my next game is the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons are favored by 3 points with a total of 43.5 points. The Carolina Panthers are just a mess right now. I mean, that was evidence in their blowout loss against the Cincinnati Bengals last week. I think the Atlanta Falcons are a much more talented team. The Falcons are 3-1-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games, while the Panthers are just awful at home. I looked at this stat and I was shocked. Carolina is 8-21-1 against the spread in their last 30 home games, and 5-18 against the spread in their last 23 games overall. I mean, Carolina's really struggling right now, and I just like Atlanta in this Thursday night matchup, so I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons and laying the points.
All right, let's head on over to the last game of the week. My last game is the Houston Texans traveling to the Meadowlands, the New York Giants. New York is favored by 6.5 points. The over-under is 39.5. By the way, that 39.5 just seems really, really low, regardless of what I'm picking here. But the Giants come into the game, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. They've also won 4 straight against the Texans. Houston is 2-3 against the spread over their last 5, and I'll be honest with you, if this was 7 or more, I probably would have stayed away from this game. Giants are coming off their bye week. They are actually one of the best teams in the NFC right now. I love what's going on with Saquon Barkley. I love seeing exactly what Daniel Jones is capable of when he's not doing some boneheaded things on the field. Giants are one of the top teams in the NFC, and you can't deny that right now. And also, you can't deny that this is technically a must-win game for the Giants if they want to keep pace with the undefeated Eagles.
Yep.
And also the Cowboys, who are in second place over the Giants in terms of the standings. So this is a must-win. I'm going New York and laying the 6.5.
Well, my third and final game, the Dallas Cowboys are traveling to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys are 5-point favorites, and the total is 43 points. Simple fact is, Green Bay Packers, they can't score. They really can't score. Last week, they only had 9 points against the Detroit Lions. The Packers have scored 17 or fewer points in 3 of their last 4 games. You get this one for the under for the Packers. The under has hit 4 times for the Packers in their last 4 games, and the under has hit for the Packers 6 of their last 7 games following a loss. I think this one's going to be a relatively low-scoring game because I think Dallas is going to be the only team scoring. And here's something I've never brought up yet. It's November. It's going to be dark. It's in Green Bay. Weather could be a factor in this one, and I think this game will be going under the 43. So I'm taking the under in this game.
All right, let's recap for everybody. Go ahead.
All right, my first game is Detroit Lions facing the Bears. The Bears are 2.5 favorites. The total is 48.5. I'm taking the Chicago Bears, laying the points. I am taking the Atlanta Falcons and laying the 3 points against the Carolina Panthers. And I'm taking the under 43 points in the Dallas Cowboys Green Bay Packers game.
I'm also laying the 2.5 in the Chicago Bears game. I did the over 49 in the Browns-Dolphins game, and I laid the 6.5 for the Giants against the Houston Texans. Again, all our picks will be put up on the Turnpike Sports blog. Head on over to turnpikesports.us and click on the blog button. They'll be in written form there. Please feel free to comment on them. Feel free to send in your own picks. info@turnpikesportsradio.com is the email address to reach us at. Like I said, you can comment on the blog. You can also follow us on Twitter @Turnpike Sports and @Turnpike Bets are our 2 handles. @Turnpike Sports is our Facebook handle. @Turnpike Sports Radio is our Instagram handle. And, you can watch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. And you can also catch us on YouTube. Our new handle there is @Turnpike Sports. So enjoy your NFL Week 10 games this week.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.